You can blame, inflation on many things, right? But I always say that when you look at the transportation cost, meaning gasoline in particular, oil in particular, right? When you look at that cost and it goes up by 40, 50, 60%, right? Something's got to give, right? When you have a lack of truckers, right? You have to ask your question, is it because there really are a lack of truckers, or is it because the trucking service says, I can no longer make money because gasoline prices are so high, right? And I can't even charge more because the person that I want to charge more to says, no, I can't afford that.
Well, but the person you're charging already has to pay more for the goods that you're transporting.
Exactly. I mean, shipping from I think it was shipping from China to here, right? I think that cost has gone up 1,300%. I mean, that's just enormous. That's insane, right? And again, we talked about this.
It speaks to why we're constantly sort of tooting that horn of why certain things you want to be made here, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where that's suddenly things you need. Those microchips, those things to make cars, those things for medicinal purposes or health care purposes. You don't want to put yourself in a position where suddenly those things cost you 1,000% more.
That's right.
To get.
Well, you put yourself in a position, right? I mean, let's look at oil in general, right? We were energy independent, right? And we decided the administration in this case decided to produce less oil, right? And we are now buying oil from not only the Middle East but from Russia. And you say to yourself, how does that change the perception of how much oil we really use, other than the fact that we are now paying more, right? And we are putting ourselves in a situation, and we've done this for many years, where we are now at the beck and call of countries that necessarily don't have the same viewpoints that we do. In other words, China is a communist and Russia's communist. And that's fine. I mean, you can have whatever government you want, but it's not the type of government that really we want to be dealing with.
They're all they are Russia plus the OPEC countries, the ones in the Middle East. Once you give them leverage, they are going to use that leverage. They're going to cut back and say, all right, we're going to make less oil so that you have to pay more for our oil. So you need at least one trading partner that's not in lead with them. And the problem is we were that. I mean, we ourselves were that person.
That's right.
If we're going to do that, then we have to be prepared for the fact
that
they will
We've done this in just about every part of our economy, manufacturing, any type of production you can think of. I mean, we talked about the medicines that are all created abroad. You get to the point where you've sent everything away, right? And now all of a sudden, all those countries say, all right, we're in charge because they're buying from us. So now we can say, if you want it, you have to pay more, right? Because why has shipping costs increased by that much? There's no reason, right? I mean, oil hasn't gone up by 1,300 because it's, if you want it, it's going to cost you more, right? So we've put ourselves in that position. So from the perspective of the U.S. economy, right? And not only the U.S. economy, but other countries around the globe, right? But certainly the U.S. economy, which we imported so much, right? Those imports are now just increased dramatically, causing an enormous amount of inflation and shortages, which is even worse, right? So I think from a perspective of this country, we have to take a step back and say, do we want to bring back manufacturing here? If we're willing to pay 20, 30, 40% more for product, you mean to tell me, then at that point, we should be able to afford to do it here, right? And there are certain parts of the economy, without any doubt, you should have the manufacturing.